Yo,
What is up, man?
was good, Rob? Uh, Boring fight night this past weekend.
I thought the main event was entertaining.
Oh no, that's true. My mind is just stuck on the Rose fight.
Let's talk about that one.
Dude, I think I I was pissed at the commentators because when you catch something and they don't, and like to you it's like so obvious, and you're like, oh my God. I thought by the end of round two, Rose was like fatigued, like unbelievable. And then round three, when she went for the takedown and then she got reversed,
Mm,
the commentators were like, great job by Blanchfield taking her down.
yeah,
Where I was like, did they not catch? Like it was a panic shot, like she's she was getting fatigued and she was getting like kind of like lit up, on the feet. So then Rose shot, and like from there, she was just fatigued. I was pretty disappointed because she trains out of Denver, high elevation. You'd think like she'd be ready to go 25 minutes, but I mean, maybe it's in the weight class. What were your thoughts?
let me ask you this: how did you score the first 10 minutes?
I had it 2-0, Rose.
That's what I had it.
Yeah,
That's what I had it. And the third round, I thought it was a closer round up until the takedown. Um, more or less. I know that she was getting tagged with just basic punches, which I wasn't kind of used to. And after that, I gave Aaron the fourth and the fifth.
yeah,
You know, but I was expecting Rose to be more. I don't know. Like it's hard to have those expectations from her because she's performed so well in the past, right? And every fight is a new fight. But I was expecting to see her a little bit sharper, given that she's taking some time off, given that she's also coming off 2 wins, right? 2 wins.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how she got tired. Do you think she could have been dealing with injuries or something happened in the training camp that didn't allow her to train?
Uh, I think just to give credit to Blanchfield, like I think her
The
pressure
pressure?
like overwhelmed her. Yeah, like she has a chin on her, because she ate some good shots.
Dude.
Um, and she just kept coming, and it's like the typical like wrestler, like she didn't get the knockout, right? But like knocking out a striker. So like once a striker gets fatigued, it's like you said, the basic shots they land.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like the basic shots were landing for Blanchfield, and I think it was a perfect decision, 48-47 Blanchfield. Uh and I think she gets the champ next.
I think the judges got it right. And you know how I was talking about her? I was speaking highly of her, not necessarily of what I see in her skills, but like it goes to show you like who's the more skilled fighter? Rose is, you know?
Yeah,
But when pressure, like when you factor in pressure, when you
yeah,
factor in um, the ability to absorb punches and still go forward and be relentless and like that fatigues you, like
yeah,
and I think we spoke about this like before that even like Alex Pereira, even with Khalil, he had the same game plan. Like yeah,
yeah,
he was getting lit up, but he was always on him, right?
yeah,
Not letting him breathe. So I feel like um, Rose kind of had a similar fatigue that Khalil did. Obviously,
yeah,
Alex is a different threat than Aaron.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
I completely agree. Yeah, but main event though, you're right. Moreno versus Albazi. Uh, that was pretty good.
good fight, good fight. I
Yeah,
mean, it was a one-sided beating.
yeah. But I mean, Moreno came out with that fire. He looked good. Uh,
Sharp.
I think. I think 49-46. The judge that scored it like that. I'm like, damn, like even one round for Albazi is like not right, you know?
Yeah. What was he drinking? Is he allowed to drink at the event or something? Like, I mean,
Yeah, dude. I think after two rounds, Moreno had like 50 strikes landed, significant strikes, and Albazi had like nine.
yeah, not even like half.
Yeah, dude, he put on a beating, and it looked like he was enjoying himself there, which is uh it seems like the time off did him good, he came out, he looked hungry. Um I think as far as what's next for him, I don't think the title shot, I think it's tough because I've seen people wanting him versus Kai Kara 3, but I mean, he's beat him twice, Uh, I believe both by knockout. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know the second one was a pretty nasty,
Liver.
dominating win for him.
Yeah. But what were your thoughts on the main?
I think you summed it up pretty well. I felt like he needed that time off. It seemed like some of that pressure, some of that I need to win to get back to the title, just kind of didn't really help him, and he needed to take time off and kind of find himself. He said that he was going through some mental struggles,
Yeah.
as we all do. So I feel like just having a little bit of space and reflecting and recentering yourself and it's so valuable. And even for MMA fighters that you think that they're the toughest of the toughest, but it's the highest highs and the lowest lows for them. And I feel like it showed that he had that fire back in him. Not the same fire. I think it's a different fire, because he did that work, and it translated to his performance, having fun again. I loved how the way that he was mixing it up, like going low, going high,
Mm,
body shots, elbows.
yeah.
It was a different dude for sure, and he kept it up for 5 rounds. And yeah, man, I'm excited to have him back. If that guy keeps showing up, he can easily win that title back.
Yeah. I mean, 125 right now is it's a little bit of a headache, got the champ defending against the newcomer, a Sakura. I
Is that
think
in the
Royva.
310? 310, right?
Uh 30. Yeah, 310. 310.
310, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Michael Chandler, yeah, which
Yeah,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll touch on. Okay, yeah, I mean Pantoja, like that's what I like about Pantoja, man. He always brings it. He fights. He's entertaining. He's kind of like Moreno and Figgy, like I always wanted to watch Moreno fight.
Yeah.
I always wanted to watch Figgy fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's tough, because there's three people saying they're next in line, and then the title defense is coming up. Uh yeah.
Who's saying that? Kai
Kai thinks he's next.
Moreno.
Moreno, and then Royval, I think, should be next,
Mm,
He's put on like a three-fight win streak since losing against the champ, uh, including Moreno. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You're right. Um, do you, I remember Pantoja kind of dominating that fight against Royval. So I would see why the UFC would want to go in a different route. With the new challenger, right? They're going in a different route, new blood. Um, who would I rather see between those three? Has Kai fought Pantoja?
no, but he's also lost to Moreno and Royval, right? Which
The
MMA
MMA
math,
math, right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but I. don't quote me on this, but I believe Royval had like a blown out knee early in the Pantoja fight, which
Mm,
prevented him from putting on the pressure. But I don't know. I think I'd like to see that one again, you know.
that
Uh,
changes things.
yeah, it's kind of like the like Royval is kind of becoming a little bit like the Holloway Whitaker, you know, where he's beating like the new people. I mean, he took I'm blanking on the guy's name right now, but he took the guy's O a few fight nights ago.
Wait,
Um,
was Royval the one that fought Jose Aldo?
no, no.
Who fought Jose?
Jose Bautista?
The one before that.
Jonathan Martinez?
That's who. Like I always get them mixed up. Jonathan
Yeah, they kind of
Martinez
look the same.
and Roy. I always get them mixed up. That's why I'm like Royval. Yeah. They kind of look the same. Okay,
Yeah.
so I was getting them mixed up. I was like, did he go up and fight Jose and then came back? No, but you're right. It's Jonathan Martinez.
Uh,
Um, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think that if you are going by um the wins that have impressed the most, probably Royval. You know.
yeah, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see what Dana White decides to do.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I like that the 125ers are getting eyes, and we're talking about him, and I always thought that that was a very exciting weight class, and especially now, that there's like just
Yeah,
just more names, and I feel like there's more uh, the weight class is more dangerous. Not that Demetrius didn't have dangerous opponents. He always
yeah,
did. But I just feel like Demetrius was so dominating that everybody
yeah,
was expecting him to win.
yeah. It almost in a way like it not boring, but like predictable.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right,
Kind of
put
like
money on
Khabib.
DJ.
Like
Yeah,
when anybody fought Khabib, you were like, oh, Khabib's gonna maul them. Khabib's
yeah,
gonna win, right? Like,
yeah,
you know? Yeah. I think that's what kind of made it like, a little bit harder to watch for Demetrius because he was so good.
yeah,
Where Pantoja, there's holes there. He's lost rounds, close decisions. I mean, he won the belt by split decision, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like all his fights are like super close, it's just he has such a weird fighting style.
Mhm.
He's like he reminds me of like Duplessis with not as much striking.
Yeah.
Uh, like round one, he already looks fatigued, but then he still has the energy to take people down and keep them on the ground. Uh,
And fight through like another 20 minutes, which is insane.
yeah, it's
Weird.
weird.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what he's really good at? When people like start to like put pressure on him and try to like land bombs in him, he changes levels and boom, out,
Yeah,
down. He's really good
yeah.
at that.
He
Going
steals
backward
around.
and taking down people. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
pretty awesome to watch.
it's a weird puzzle.
Yeah. Moving on to this week's fight, Saturday's fight.
Yeah.
Neil and Prates.
Uh, so I mean, Neil Magny, he's kind of like the guy you need to get through in 170, right? To prove like you're a top 15 fighter, he he beat up Mike Malott, who just got a win this Saturday.
Yeah,
Uh, in Canada, he beat him up.
yeah.
Uh, he's got a gas tank, he's just, I mean, the prototypical martial artist. Um, Prates is I've seen his other UFC fights, knockout artist. His last knockout, Li
Bring him again.
Jingliang,
Yeah.
he flatlined him, dude. I
Yeah,
remember like screaming like oh at the TV. Um,
yeah.
I think he gets Magny out of there.
In the
He
last pay-per-view, right? Like it was, I forgot which pay-per-view it was.
I believe so. Yeah.
Put him down. Put him down. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been pretty active, honestly. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But he's methodical. He doesn't go out there and just like wings it. So I think he wins round two, knockout. Gets
Against Magny?
Yeah, I think he
Damn.
breaks Magny down
Mhm.
for
I
sure.
feel like if he doesn't get him out of there in those first 2 rounds, I think Magny TKOs him late.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, if I'm putting money, I'm gonna go with Prates, like yeah, TKO
Yeah,
third round, early third round.
yeah.
Um, but if he doesn't get the finish, I feel like Neil has been there in the past where he's taken punishment and he's
Uh,
found a way to win at the end of the fight. Like
yeah.
so many examples. Like, do you remember? Man, the guy from Bellator, Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard was
Mhm.
wailing on him for the first like 7 minutes, gassed out, and ended up getting knocked out
Yeah.
at the end of
I,
that second round, if I remember correctly.
I mean, against that Mike Malott, or in that Mike Malott fight, he was a huge underdog. Like
Mhm.
people were saying like, not how is he gonna lose, or like what submission, like how's Mike Malott gonna choke him out, break his leg, break his arm, whatever, like um it was like a foregone conclusion, he was gonna get finished, and knocked him out, made him fatigue, took him down, and then just took him out of there,
Yeah,
being being in enemy soil,
yeah.
so the lights aren't too bright for him, so yeah, I mean,
I mean, he was doing good, right? Like he was doing good like the first 10 minutes, and Neil just found a way to win. But just
yeah,
like what I was telling you, he's so I don't know, man. Like a lot of respect for him.
yes, that experience,
Yeah,
it
yeah. He
shows.
knows when to turn it on, like, and he sees when you slow down, and he's like, I'm gonna drown this.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think Prates round two. Uh,
Okay.
Final prediction.
My final prediction: third round TKO.
Magni?
Prates,
Okay.
third round. Yeah.
Okay.
Cody and Miles Johns. Cody Garbrandt.
Honestly,
Were you a big fan of Cody when he was on top?
I
Why?
wasn't, honestly. Um,
He's got tattoos. He got face tattoos. Like, he's your boy,
I,
man.
I think, and I know for a fact, out of like hardcore MMA fans, I'm probably in the huge minority with this take. I think his performance against Dominic Cruz is very overrated. Like, I think Cruz took 2 rounds, and a 48-47 decision, Granted, he dropped him 3 times, that's really good. But kind of like bringing up the point we made last time, or about Ian Gary, you couldn't get him out of there, he couldn't get Neo Magny out of there. Um,
Yeah.
like you drop a guy 3 times and you can't capitalize, And like I get it, he was showboating this and that. He was kind of doing like the Matrix and dodging like, like the
Cool stuff.
punches and stuff.
Okay.
In my opinion, that performance was very like overrated. Um, but he's a former champ, and I think his chin is cracked. Uh, got knocked out twice against Dillashaw, Pedro Munoz. Um,
Kai.
his Yeah, Kai Kara France at 125. The last fight I remember him having, he got submitted by Figueiredo. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Miles Johns. I mean, two fight win streak right now. Uh, I'm not too familiar with his fighting style, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like he might be like a pressure fighter. Uh, and the thing with like pressuring Cody is that right hand's always there, you know?
Yeah,
So
he's got a good left hook too, man.
yeah. So I guess final prediction, don't feel too confident with this one, but I'll go Cody by knockout round one.
Okay. Um, I am in a very similar position where I don't know Miles Johns very well. Um, I do like Cody. Just based on um, him being exciting, and he's either knocking somebody out or getting knocked out. So I'm a fan of that style of live and die by the sword. But
Yeah.
kind of going back a little bit with the fight with Dominic Cruz, I felt like he did really well at being patient and letting Dominic overcommit and him picking his shots.
Yeah.
Where he wasn't trying to get to him, like he was just letting Dominic come to him. And he didn't have that approach against TJ. He wasn't trying to counter only. Um, and I felt like Dominic could have made some adjustments on the way that he approached the fight, and he could have gone that win. But obviously, it was still a good performance by Cody. I was going for Dominic Cruz. I'm a Dominic Cruz fan. So yeah, man. I would like to see Cody come back. I think it's gonna happen? I'm not sure. Like I'm not gonna doubt the guy. He's a champion for a reason.
Yeah.
I think if he still thinks that he has it, then I want to see him fight. Um, I would like to talk at some point talk to you about TJ Dillashaw. Um, but if we have time, we're running out of time here. So I'm gonna go with Cody Garbrandt by second round KO.
Okay.
We fell on the same line, but
Yeah.
let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Let's go into John and
309.
Stipe.
Yeah.
What does
So
Stipe need to do to win?
uh for sure I'll give 3 points. I think to win, Stipe cannot be taken down. Uh, because having Jones on top of you, especially with 12 to 6 elbows being legal now. Uh,
The knee and the knee. So if you have one hand down and you get kneed, you get kneed.
yeah, and
Oh,
Jones
or
is,
was that only in Canada? Or that's going forward?
I believe, yeah, that's the rule as of November.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got
So
it.
yeah, the first, I mean, Saturday was the first like fight card. Um,
Nice. Nice. I mean, I loved it. I hope John's loss gets overturned to like a no contest.
I don't agree with that just because I feel
You
like
make another enemy? Are you making another enemy in John Jones?
nah, because it's like it was the rules back then, you know.
Mm.
So like now changing it, it's like saying I uh, like like back in the day in UFC one, right, where Hoist Gracie came in with his gi, and then other people came in shirtless. Some people came in with boots, you know. Uh, People could wear shoes uh, to fight, and it helped to not be taken down, you know. Like, does that mean those takedowns now, like, or failed takedowns get erased, you know, or all of that because the game has changed so much, should be no contest? Uh, I don't agree with that.
I
Uh,
see it almost like a low blow. Like if you, let's say you land a legal knee or something, and you know that it's illegal. Kind of like what happened to
yeah.
Peter Yan, right?
Hmm.
That he lost his title due to a DQ.
Yeah,
I kind of see it that way. Like I'm seeing your point, like that. I'm like it's a DQ, like it was an illegal blow. So
yeah.
you know,
It
it's
it
it's not simple. It's not simple.
yeah, it's a tough one. Like even when they started introducing like video replay, because that was after a fight where the fighter complained about like a low blow or something, and they paused the fight to see the replay. But at the time, you can't pause a fight, so they just
Mm.
had to call it. So it's tough, at the very least, I don't think it should be a John Jones victory because I've heard some people like advocating for that, 27 and 0. Um, it can't, in my mind, like, no, no contest, okay, like I'll hear it out. Uh, but I look at like other like flagrant things like the Chris Weidman, like yeah. Uh, Chris Weidman, I'm not sure if you remember the fight where he knocked I'm blanking on the guy's name, but dude, he like the finishing sequence literally pop, pop, and then boom, the guy fell to the ground, knocked him out. And it's like
It was a
what
beautiful one too to the eyes, you know.
and what they did is they reversed it from uh
Win.
a KO to a decision, which is weird, right? It's weird because the fight was stopped, but
Oh,
they
because
called
they
it a
went to the
decision.
scorecards, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think even that is a new rule, right? Because before it was like it'd just be like a no contest or something. So it's tough, the game changes so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, kind of like to list the three things real quick.
Yeah,
Don't
dude,
be taken
I took you
down.
back. Yeah, I took you back. Yeah. Got
Yeah,
you
we
ranting on a
went
no
on a
contest.
tangent,
Yeah, yeah,
but cannot be taken down. Uh, I think he needs to be able to. It's tough, because he's the older guy, but he needs to be able to come into range because Jones has the biggest reach in the UFC now because the guy who had it actually got released recently. And
yeah. Francis? No.
no, the Cuban guy. I'm blanking on everyone's names. The Spain.
Spaniard?
The,
He got
uh,
released because he lost the.
yeah. I'm not sure
Yeah,
why,
he
but
was like coming in like 6-0, 6 KOs, and then he lost two or three in a row.
so he lost one, but he was getting like knockouts in like 13 seconds and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it's Rodrigo the something. I think. I might be completely off with the name, but
I think he got. I think it's at least. I think it's three losses in a row that he's had.
I don't think so. I could search it up right now, but
Yeah, I
I
got
guess
you. What are your other points? I'll look it up.
so. Don't be taken down. Be able to close the range, and then I think leg kicks, but calf kicks specifically. He needs to kick low to make Jones kind of like reach down and open up his boxing, like maybe Jones reaches down, he lands some uppercuts and hooks. Because Stipe is very boxing heavy. So I think those are my three pointers for him
Robles
to
the
win.
Spain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Robles the Spain, right?
Yeah, he lost against Castro, I think.
Let's see. Let's see. He is big boy. I'm looking up his record right now. Um,
Oh yeah, he lost two in a row.
two in a row, right? Yeah,
Yeah, Waldo Cortez Acosta and Austin Lane.
yeah.
Oh yeah, if you lose against Austin Lane at heavyweight, yeah, I agree with the cut, respectfully. What
All right.
what
Stipe, you know what? Like, I'll give you this, right? I don't think that Stipe has been on the ground very much. Even even when DC took him down, it's not like he
Mhm.
stayed there getting beat up. Like yeah, DC kind of beat him up in certain positions, but he found a way back up, right? And took him down repeatedly.
Yeah,
And that was the fight, remember, where he got DC out of there in the fourth round,
yeah, yeah,
in Anaheim. I was actually there. Um, so um, I feel like John is a different fighter. Obviously, he could have better control than DC, or just different control. I agree with Stipe needs to be in range to find his shots. You can't be fighting the outside game because
yeah,
Jones is that's where he likes to be, even though he's good at that range as well. He could fight anywhere, right? Like that's what makes John
yeah,
Jones so good. But I think that I agree with you, right? Low leg kicks. I think that's also going to be a good weapon for him.
yeah,
Um, for me, I feel like Stipe needs to fight his fight. And I know that seems simple, but don't fight Jones his fight. Don't like get in, get out, use your combos. He is a big dude. That's his division. So like he can't like come in there and be like, oh, it's John Jones. It's like, no, that's your division. You're the best
yeah,
in that division. So fight that way. And I think if he fights that way, John Jones has his hands freaking full. He's got him fucking.
yeah,
Like I don't
yeah.
understand this narrative of people, like saying that Stipe is just like the stepping stone. I'm like, but he's always gone that. People
Yeah,
said that about DC. People said that about Francis, right?
yeah,
So I don't understand the disrespect towards Stipe. I'm a big Stipe fan, and mostly just because of the way that he fights. Like the way that he fights is just awesome. I've never seen a
yeah,
bad Stipe fight,
yeah, yeah,
ever. Um, so I feel like if Stipe fights the way that he's fought every single fight, he's good. He's good. Like he's coming off a KO, but that was a different Francis at that point. Um, and I think Stipe has more than enough ways to win. You know,
yeah. It,
what does Jones need to do?
Jones, I mean, sometimes in the broadcast they put like, oh, like keys to victory, be this, be that, you know.
Ecograms, eye pokes.
I think literally like just be what he is, you know, which is one of the most dominant fighters the UFC has ever seen. I don't think he's the most dominant, you know. I think we've brought it up in the past, you know, Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes, people who could strike, give him trouble. Uh, but what I've noticed is explosive
People that are his size as
strikers.
well.
Yeah,
Size, like I feel like he dominated more the smaller guys like Glover,
DC.
DC, Shogun, you know,
Yeah, Machida.
Machida, Rampage,
Yeah,
Vitor, right? He had
yeah,
way more dominating fights against those guys, and he's not going to have that against Stipe.
yeah. The only thing is Stipe's not explosive like Thiago Santos, Gustafsson, uh, Dominic Reyes. You know, the people, the strikers that gave him trouble. Um,
What's the speed?
but sorry.
You think it was the speed that gave him the trouble?
I think so because Jones is not that fast. Like even if you look at his younger career, he's not that fast. Um, he's a master tactician.
Mm,
Uh, but I think the one fight where I could like think of that he like hands down was like the fastest dude. Um, OSP.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think the lack of speed, but I guess the equivalent or the thing that equalizes the equation is he's a heavyweight now, and he looked kind of like even slower against Gan, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like he did not look fast. You know, like I saw him training and all this power, and I think we spoke about it. I don't know if it was off camera or on camera, but I was worried that that he was going to be slow coming into that fight. And when I
Yeah,
saw him strike, and
yeah,
I was like this, I was like, wow, that's slow, right?
yeah,
And it kind of made sense because he's like doing like all this powerlifting, and even when he was doing like quote unquote explosive stuff, he looked slow. So I was
yeah,
like, that is not transfer. I was like, like I can't really take too much from a small clip, but I was like,
yeah,
he's not transferring that strength into power. Like I don't know who
yeah,
SNC coach, but
yeah. And I think that's the thing, like he's never been that fighter, like when does he, like throw a jab to the body, a two up top, and then a head kick, and like spark someone in 10 seconds. It
yeah,
doesn't happen, He is long, uses his size to his advantage, stays at range. Uh, the fastest I've ever seen him is when he was like running away from like Dominic Reyes. And then like I'm not trying to roast, but like uh pretty slow, like he's not that
you're not trying
fast.
to roast him.
Um, but yeah, I think that's the yeah, so I guess three keys for Jones is like kind of like you said for Stipe, fight his fight, stay at range,
Mm,
pick his shots, be patient.
mm,
Uh, two is teep kicks. I think Jones using teep kicks will be key. He typically does oblique kicks too. So I think if he's gonna strike, relying on kicks more than punches. Uh, and I guess three, be patient, just wait for Stipe to like make a mistake, give Stipe a false sense of confidence. But I'll say this, he can't eat shots. I don't think he could eat shots from Stipe. Stipe is one of the lighter heavyweights.
not too many guys can.
Yeah, but he's the GOAT for a reason at heavyweight. Uh, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's knocked out everybody. I
yeah,
mean, Francis was one of the guys that he didn't, but he wobbled him. And
yeah,
even when he was hurt, I think we spoke about this, right? When he was hurt, he wobbled Francis with the right,
yeah,
and then he got knocked out, right? Because he
yeah,
wobbled him. He's like, I'm going for the finish. Gets clipped when he's hurt, and then he goes down. So it's like even if you hurt that guy, like you're not like out of it's like, oh, it's done. No, 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 no.
yeah,
Stipe's a different guy.
yeah,
No, it's gonna be interesting. So I'm looking forward to breaking it down next week and seeing what
yeah,
he does. Michael
yeah.
Chandler, Charles, keys to victory for both of them.
Yeah, so I'll go quick with this one. I think keys for Chandler, he needs a round one finish. So he needs to come out explosive. He needs to try to land that overhand right. So explosive, overhand right, and I I don't know how to phrase this next one, but like avoid leg kicks, because Chandler takes leg kicks like not very well. In his fight against Oliveira, he got dropped by a leg kick. Um,
Right away.
against Gaethje, yeah, yeah. Against Gaethje, that's when he was like trying to like be overly tough. He was eating shots with his hands down and stuff. His leg was crushed.
Mm,
Like he could not move on that right leg because it was destroyed. And then even against Pori, I think the leg kicks gave him trouble. And historically in his career, I mean, he's had that drop foot in Bellator.
yeah,
Um,
against Brent Primus,
yeah, yeah, like years ago,
right?
where they pulled his stool. Remember that? And I think he would have won that fight because with the drop foot, he dropped the guy. So
Yeah,
it shows how dangerous Michael Chandler is.
Correct.
Uh, so I think those are his three keys to victory. For Oliveira, I think being patient, because he loves to put that pressure, but I think fighting someone a second time, that's a little dangerous, especially because Chandler is one of the few people that isn't afraid to go to the ground with Oliveira. Um, so being patient, not getting clipped round one, using leg kicks, and then being defensively responsible overall. Because again, he eats a lot of shots. I did see some improvements in the Armin fight. Uh, there wasn't like I mean, he didn't get dropped, anything like that. I for sure saw some really good defensive improvements from Oliveira. And he's good at defending when he's on the ground too. But the thing is, like, one punch from Chandler is too dangerous,
You can't bank on your chin, you know?
Yeah.
With
Or
Chandler or with like Justin Gaethje, Dustin
yeah,
Poirier, you can't like bank on your chin, you know?
especially when there's a canvas behind you, where your head could get bounced and you go out, instantly. So, yeah, those are my keys for each one. How about you?
Michael Chandler. I would like to see head movement from Michael Chandler. He's a shorter guy. Um, he, like you said, he takes shots that don't necessarily he needs to be taking,
Yeah,
you know, and that always worries me about him, right? Because I know he's a tough guy. I know talented fighter, powerful fighter, but if it's like you're not putting yourself in the best position to maximize your strengths, which is head movement, pick your shot. He doesn't need to outland Charles to win. He needs one or two shots, and he's uh think about how he finished Dan Hooker, right? Like he was patient,
yeah,
right? He was a little bit more defensive, and he picked that shot and landed it. Um, so I feel like if he does something similar to that, where he's being patient and needs to explode when he needs to explode, I think that'll maximize his chances to win the fight. Um, Other thing, mix it up. You know, he is a powerful guy. So with Tony, we saw him kick for the first time, and look at the results that we got. Right? Maybe not for the first time. I'm being sarcastic here,
yeah,
but kind of mix it up. Like don't just headhunt. Like that you're gonna find the head when you start attacking all the other levels, right? So
mm,
don't only headhunt. You don't need to throw everything into every single shot. Like be selective with your energy system, because we have seen him. He's like getting shot out of a cannon, right? Like boom, the first 10 minutes, and then there's nothing left, right?
yeah,
In the third round. So it really depends on how he approaches the fight. I think he is his biggest ally, and he's also his biggest enemy when he puts his hand down and takes shots for no reason. I feel like is he exciting? Is he must see TV? 1000%. I won't lose a Michael Chandler fight because he is exciting, and you know what you're gonna get with Michael Chandler. However, if he wants to get a title fight and win, and actually let's say that he beats Charles and he wants to be successful against Makachev, you can't fight that way,
yeah.
you know. Um, So I don't know if I listed three things. I'm sure that I listed three things. Charles, man, Charles is my boy, man. Charles is my boy. What can I say about Charles? I would agree with you. I would love to see a little bit more defensive work from him. Right, you can put pressure, but be defensively sound. Just like Alex Pereira, right? Like roll a little bit with the shots. You don't need to take them clean. Um, use your long range weapons against Michael Chandler because he's going to try to either come over the top, right? Or he's going to try to hit you, from the sides. Like obviously he's got a nasty right hand as well, but he likes to throw more of his looping shots because he could get his head out of the way. right? And I think that's how he's a little bit defensive. He throws the over right, throws the hook, moves his head, or he'll do like his stepping in hook into a right hand or into another hook, right? So he'll like hop into that hook and then he's trying to set up that right hand. Um, so because you know that Michael Chandler is going to try to change levels as he's attacking, I feel like teeps are going to be there. Anything coming up the middle, any knees, um,
Mhm.
having a high guard, making sure that you're blocking the outside shots because it's. I feel like Michael Chandler's more dangerous out here, versus here, right? So, like take his time dismantling him.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a rush. Like if he can put him out in the first round and he can put him out in the second round, but I just want to see him be selective with the shots and he wins the fight, in my opinion. But we'll see. I
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to
Eh,
give you a prediction. Huh? Could take away what I said last time.
yeah, I think whoever wins here will undoubtedly be next for the title because I think Armin versus Islam will be January or February. They're trying to finalize it. Uh, so yeah, whoever wins here for sure is next for the title.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think I don't know if you heard this, but Maxi is going up to 55. So
Yeah.
it's just another name. I know he's coming off. You know, coming off
Should I put the picture?
break, breaking people's hearts. Exactly, coming off of that.
Uh,
Coming off of that. I lose my thoughts when I
yeah,
see that. Um,
yeah,
he's coming off of that, but I mean, look, Ilya is the man in that division. Ilya, I mean, what can you say about that guy? Like he beat the best two featherweights ever.
yeah,
What makes that Ilya?
yeah,
Right?
yeah, it's-
So I feel like it's exciting times. I want to see. I like Islam. I think he's very respectful. I like his style. He's not Khabib. Nobody said. I think it's just mostly fans that kind of compare him
yeah,
to Khabib. He's not Khabib. They're both different guys. They're both very special. I would love to see another Dustin Makhachev fight. I would love to see another, you know, um, Islam Charles fight. I would love
yeah,
to see Max Islam fight. So there's so many
yeah.
good matchups at 55. But let's leave on this. My favorite guy, my favorite guy, Ian Gary and Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah. So just got
Good fight, right?
announced
And Peter Yan and
Figueiredo.
in that same card.
Uh, I I believe
You sent me that. You
so.
sent me that. Was that December?
Yeah, yeah. It might
It might
be
be,
or,
right?
or it might be like a fight night, but either way, I mean, two bangers. So Peter Yan versus Figueiredo. We could like touch on that real quick.
Ooh, ooh.
I
My
mean,
mouth is watering, bro.
yeah. Uh, oh,
Talk about a number one contenders matchup. Who else is there,
yeah, for sure. No,
right?
it's gotta be, you know.
Yeah, who else
Um,
is there, right? Like, I mean, Marab's gonna fight Umar,
Umar Nurmagomedov.
but
Uh,
I mean, Corey Sanhagen is right there because he had such a good fight with Umar.
he
I,
lost though, right? He lost.
yeah, he lost, but I mean, like,
Yeah,
it was a really close fight. It was back and forth, back and
yeah,
forth,
yeah,
back and forth. So yeah, Umar did win the fight, but like Corey didn't really like lose anything. Like he has one impressive win. He can
yeah,
leapfrog anybody.
yeah. Tough for Sandhagen, man. But
Yeah,
I quick pick. I'll take Jan for
Sanhagen
that
and
fight.
Sanhagen and O'Malley,
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the fight to make.
right?
Uh,
That's what Sanhagen wants. He's like, I want to fight O'Malley. Yeah.
and
So
and then whoever has a more impressive victory gets next. You know.
yeah.
Between Jan and Figueiredo, O'Malley and Sandhagen. Um,
Rewind to Figueredo and Jan.
I'll take Jan. I've liked Figueiredo's chin at 135. I've liked his patience. He's a champ, you know. I mean, he fights like a champ. He's he's been really good at that division, but I'm a big fan of Jan's striking. He's completely
Dynamic,
underrated.
deadly. Everything's
Yeah,
nasty. Like there's no. Um, I'm a fan of Peter.
yeah,
Shorter, shorter.
underrated in his he's underrated in terms of best striker in the UFC conversation. Uh,
Brother, people forgot about him, which is crazy. Like, I'm
yeah,
like, dude, like that guy's a killer, you know?
yeah, and he a little bit of a losing streak, but then he came back recently with the
I mean,
W.
he lost to the champ, right?
Yeah,
And he lost to the
O'Malley,
former champ.
Sterling, and then yeah, Marab. So three
Yeah,
champs.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. And you know how Marab does it, he just,
yeah,
yeah.
so I'll take Jan in that one. How about you?
Dude, I couldn't agree more with what you said about Figgy. The God of War has looked I feel like he looks evolved. That he's not just relying on his straight, right, either from Orthodox or from Southpaw. Um, he's mixing in, right, like he's making guys think, right, like, hey, I'm a threat on the ground, I'm a threat, in the clinch, I'm a threat on the feet. So I think that gives him more opportunities to win the fight, which I love that
Yeah,
he's mixing it all up, right? He's using it all, everything that he can, and he's coming some impressive wins. So I would say momentum, Figgy, right? He's riding that wave, and I think that confidence, the fact that he is a former champion, I think he's going in this fight thinking that he's going to win. You know,
mm,
Jan, I think Jan needs to be, like a little bit more of Jan. That's it. He
yeah,
wins that fight if he's Jan,
violent.
Yes, yes. That dude does not take a step back. He's not faced with any adversity. He's definitely one of those guys that is just a warrior, right? Like he's just happy to be there and he wants to like
Yeah,
nasty. He's nasty. Like I would not want to spar with that guy.
yeah, uh,
Like he doesn't look friendly. Like
yeah,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe he is a nice guy. He doesn't come across as a nice guy, you know. But he
yeah,
doesn't need to be. He's in the hurt business, He's in the fighting business. So, but I do give him respect for all his skills. His striking, his combinations are some of the best. I mean, I pick some of them apart. Like I think we've spoken about it. Like we mimic some of his
yeah,
um flashier stuff, but even his non-flashier stuff is so sharp. His defense is so sharp, right? I love the way that he just marches forward, high guard, and he's like moving his elbows up and down. He doesn't take a lot of
yeah.
unnecessary damage, unless the only time that I saw him take a lot of damage was against Marab,
Mm.
you know,
Or O'Malley when O'Malley landed a knee that cut him up. Uh,
wobbled him, wobbled him.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean they both got wobbled in the first round, so
yeah,
it was a good fight, man. It was a good fight.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if I had to pick, I'm gonna go just because you said Jan, I'm gonna go with Figgy. Right? But I
All right,
wouldn't be surprised if Peter wins.
all right. How about quick rapid
Oh, I was
fire?
about to say hi, bye, but what do you want to talk about?
Rapid fire Gary Buckley
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
got
yeah, yeah. I did
announced.
want to touch on that. I did want to. Keys to victory for Ian.
He's
Yeah.
longer at range, 1-2. Replicate that Holland game plan. He gets the knockout.
Mm, mm. Ian, I would say he needs to take it into the later rounds. I'm not sure if it's going to be 5 rounds. I'm not sure if it's going to be 3 rounds. If it's 5 rounds, take your time. Take your time. I think he's going to find openings, and when he sees something, capitalize on it. Don't like I think this is a favorable matchup for him because he is a more of a counter striker, and then he picks you apart from the side, from the outside. Joaquin's got to walk in and create those openings. So I think that kind of um, that's how Buckley wins, but
Mm,
that's also how Ian wins. So it's like who's gonna be sharper that night? That's the person that's gonna
yeah.
win. And I'm gonna go with Ian Garrett. My boy. Boy Ian.
Ooh, all right then.
Yeah.
Good,
Hey,
good topics today.
last thing. Is Rachmanov not fighting?
I guess we'll have to wait. Yeah, hopefully some updates in the next week or so. But
Dude, I think Leon can slip right in.
yeah, I mean, I don't think respectfully Leon has that dog in him, you know?
Mm.
I don't think he fights or is willing to fight for an interim title against someone that dangerous, you know? If it was someone like, like say
Look,
Usman,
it's the
Usman
perfect
4.
opportunity for him. If he is that guy, I don't know. Obviously, if he's hurt, like I don't want him to take the fight. But if he is
Yeah,
sort of healthy and he's sort of in shape, that's a perfect opportunity for him. Like
yeah,
show the people why you need that rematch with Bilal by beating this guy. If you're the
yeah,
champion, you beat that guy.
yeah. Which I haven't heard much from Leon since he lost, so I question the hunger.
Mm.
And I don't mean that in any way disrespectfully.
Mm.
It's just, it's tough. It's tough.
Because did you see Alex? Alex actually got hit up and he's got a broken hand.
Oh, dang, I didn't see that. Yeah, I saw they reached out, but
Yeah,
dang,
Alex. They said that Alex was out. If you believe what's on the internet or what's in the
yeah,
internet, it's not going to be Alex. But so that's why I went back to Rachmanov. I was like, okay, so is he staying on the card? Because it seems like he's still training. He's still training,
yeah.
right? Like
He
he's still
wants to
got a
fight.
month. JDM, I don't know if
Yeah.
he's ready.
I mean, that card needs some saving for sure.
But think about it, right? Like all these guys are in there for the opportunity to fight for the title. This is
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you show if you're really about it, I guess.
this is
Uh,
it. This is it.
yeah.
Are you gonna fight or you're not gonna fight, right? I know Rakhmonov will fight. He'll fight me right now.
Yeah.
And done. We'll
Yeah.
throw some hands.
Yeah. I'll say this on video. If I love, my facial hair. If Leon steps up for an interim title fight,
Makes you look twice.
I'll shave from here down. I'll shave from here down if Leon steps up, but I doubt he's that guy. I seriously do doubt him.
What
So
about Kamaru? Do you think Kamaru would step into that?
I think Kamaru is that guy. I think Kamaru, I mean, he fought
He
Chimaev at
is. He is that
185,
guy. He is that guy.
right? I think Kamaru is more of that dog
Yeah.
than Leon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Do I think Kamaru takes that fight, as far as like, is he even offered it? I don't know. But I
Mm-hmm.
do think Kamaru is 100 times more likely than Leon to step up.
Because look, I think that Kamaru fought a tougher fight in his last fight than Rakhmonov will be. I think Rakhmonov will represent different problems than Chimaev, but I think
Yeah,
Chimaev is just a tougher matchup for anybody.
yeah,
So um, do I think that Rakhmonov is a piece of cake? No, he's 18-0 for a reason.
yeah.
You know, uh,
18 finishes.
dude. I mean, what other fighter would not want to have that record?
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Like
nasty.
outstanding, outstanding. That's why he's a superstar, right? Like he
Yeah,
goes out there, he rolls the dice, and he gets people out of there.
Yeah.
gone wobble, he's gone hurt. But you know, like he's exciting, and that's why people like him. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how things change. I don't know if we're gonna get a different co-main event, and the main event's gonna be the co-main event.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that as long as it's like a juicy, co-main event. You know, could be like Derek Lewis and I don't know.
And Derek Lewis against
That-
Denise.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Derek Lewis and give us some. Like who else is a banger? Maybe Volkov number 2. Volkov's coming off a win, right?
Oh, gone Volkov. They could reschedule it to then, but maybe we
You know,
look at we look at
Volkov
the
is I think he's like the sleeping. He's the boogeyman of the division, man.
I don't think I disagree with
He
that
looks
one.
so. Who did he fight last time?
Uh
KO artist.
yeah, Pavlovich.
Yes, destroyed him.
Yeah, he picked them apart for sure.
He was the boogeyman of the division.
But
What do you
remember
mean?
Gane?
He just beat the boogeyman of the division. How does that not make him the boogeyman of the division?
Nah, it doesn't because Gane picked him apart. Uh
Volkov?
yeah,
They fought already?
yeah, this is the rematch.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Was it a like decision?
Yeah, decision,
Hmm.
5 rounder. And I mean, Gane's style translates really well into a 5 round fight. He's a cardio machine, but yeah, I
And he's more
don't.
of a point fighter. I mean, he
Yeah, yeah,
obviously is a big boy.
100%. Yeah, yeah,
He's a big boy, and he can knock you out for sure, 1,000%, right?
yeah,
But he's more of that, like pretty kickboxer style, you know?
yeah. But yeah, I don't agree with Volkov being the boogeyman. I think Gane is more of a boogeyman, just not as scary.
Tommy and Gone.
Dude, people have been I've seen people like pushing for that. The only thing is like, dang, a second interim title defense. It's, I mean, I know he's down. I know Tom Aspinall is down,
Dude, he's fought what, like for like 5 minutes in the last year,
Yeah,
right? Like what why not if you're, like if your in time fight has been like a round in the
yeah,
past 3 fights. You know what I'm saying? Like not necessarily that he needs to prove it, but it's like he is the champion. I think he is the champion. We're gonna see what happens with Stipe and Jones, and
hmm,
they both might retire regardless of the outcome, right?
yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know. It kind of makes sense. Put Volkov or whoever, like anybody
yeah.
against Tom Aspinall that we haven't seen already. You know,
I I think he's fought Volkov, Tom Aspinall. Uh,
Knock him out.
submitted him with
Yeah, he took him down. He took
the
him down.
straight arm bar or
Kimura.
yeah, like almost like a straight arm Kimura. It was very like a
I
weird looking
remember. I
submission.
remember. I was kind of disappointed because I was rooting for Volkov.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
Right,
we
right.
we look at what fights could cover 310. We come back and pitch some potential main events for
Maybe
next.
on Friday.
Yeah,
All right, brother. Well,
sounds good. All
good
right,
talk.
yo. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Subscribe, like, tell your friends.
Pikachu.